There's a time to say, I don't care. Quite honestly, most people care too much about the wrong things. The question is, are you one of those people? Are you ready to shift your mindset and tap into the opportunities that are waiting for you right now? Let's go. Welcome to the Creating Clarity podcast, where we talk about clearing the fog, shifting our focus, and uncovering opportunities that are hidden right in front of us. I'm your host, Dr. Liz Aguirre. Before I begin, I must emphasize that this work is separate from my professional medical work and does not represent medical advice or opinions of any specific organization. The biggest thing that we do is care too much about what other people think. Unfortunately, our brains have just been trained to think that way. From a very young age, we want to please our parents. We get sad when we disappoint them. We're happy when they give their loving approval. This awareness led me to embracing and praising my kids' failures. What? You got an 85 on that math homework? Great. But that's a B, Mommy. I know, but did you try your best? Yes. Okay, well, then I'm happy. I messed up on my piano recital, Mommy. You did? That's great. That means you have room for improvement. This one confused my daughter. But then I explained, if you already knew how to do all of this, if you already knew how to read the music and play the piano beautifully, then the money I spend on lessons would be for nothing. I'm learning that the praise should come with the messy actions, with the imperfections, with the failures, not with the perfection. You sang that song beautifully? Great. I'm proud for all the hard work you put into practicing. I'm proud of you for being brave and standing up on stage even though you were scared. I'm so happy that my daughter had a great performance, but that's not what I'm going to be praising. I'm praising all the work that she put into it. This is incredibly important because we are sabotaging our happiness because we care too much about what others think. We also care too much about what we think. Our thoughts are creating our reality, but we're not our thoughts. I used to be so confused by my husband saying this, so I'm going to say it again. We are not our thoughts. The billionaire who donated $500,000 is stingy. Is that true or is it a thought? The basketball team who lost the championship game because of a bad call by the ref. Is that true or is that just a thought? The well off parents who don't want to pay for their kids' college are horrible parents. How can they make that child suffer and take out all those loans? Is that true? Are they horrible parents or is that just a thought? I can take any one of those statements and apply a different thought. It's easy for our thoughts to label things as right and wrong or good and bad. When we are unhappy, it's because there is a disconnect between what we really want and reality. I wanted the billionaire to donate more money to my cause, and when she didn't, I called her stingy. What if she had already donated $5 million that year? What if I was 100th person to ask for a donation and she only intended to donate 4 million? What if the basketball team only made 20% of their free throw shots? Now, do you think it was the one bad call by the ref that made them lose the game? What if the parents don't want to pay for their kids' college because they're saving for retirement and they think it's more important to not burden their child with caring for them in their older years? Or what if they have a personal challenge that you don't know about and that's eating up their money? Our brains will offer thoughts to support what it is that we want, and we make those true by believing them. But again, they are just our thoughts. We really get into trouble when we allow our thoughts to dictate our happiness. We do this all the time. We have these thoughts, AKA stories, in our mind about someone else's actions and what they might mean. We have thoughts about what they might be thinking, when in reality, we have no clue. We might even demand that they explain their actions, but the reality is that they are entitled to live their life the way they want. We shouldn't allow their decisions about how they live their life to dictate our happiness. Negative Nelly likes to chant unhelpful thoughts about what other people are thinking. But again, we have no clue. Negative Nelly says, what are they going to think? This thought stops us from doing what we really want to do because of the fear of rejection. Nellie says, they're going to roll their eyes if I say that. So we keep our thoughts to ourselves. Nellie says, I look fat in this. I'm sure everybody's going to look at me and think I look fat. In reality, they probably don't care. But if they do, who cares? They're not wearing it. You are. Do you like it? If you don't like it, then go change your dress. If you do like it, who cares what they think? Sometimes we do have these thoughts about what other people should or should not do. But in reality, it's their life, not ours. Wow, look at how much money they spend on their house and cars. They should donate more. Their kids are spoiled. They should teach them some responsibilities. They shouldn't waste money on stuff like that. They should be helping their kids pay for college. We pass judgment on others all the time. The sooner we stop caring about what others think, and the sooner we stop trying to impose our beliefs on other people, the sooner we will learn to find happiness within. Honestly, should I live my life the way somebody else wants me to live it, or should I live it the way I want to live it? Some people might not like the things I say. That's okay. This podcast isn't for them. It's for all the other people who do find it helpful. You don't like my dress? Good. Be glad you don't have to wear it. I don't like the way they curse. It's okay. Get over it, Liz. It's not your life, it's theirs. I get to choose to be around them or not. But if I'm demanding that they stop cursing for me, that's just ridiculous. It's their life. They get to spend it the way they want. Oh, but wait, it's your best friend. And you've been friends for a long time. So you can't not be around them. That's not true. That's just a thought. You have a choice. Well, we've been friends for a long time and she's always been that way. But now I have kids and I'm not single anymore. I don't like them cussing in front of my kids. Okay, you have a choice. You don't have to be around that person. But if you choose to be around that person and then they're cursing in front of your kids, it's not their cursing that's making you unhappy. It's your decision to be around them that's making them unhappy because you already knew they were going to be cursing. So, in reality, it was your decision to be there. That's why you're unhappy. Do you see how this works? Of course, I know all this to be true, but I'm still working on this every day. I had a situation earlier today, exact same thing. And I realized, no, they're just being them. It's my thoughts about what they should be doing that's making me unhappy. I also get unhappy when I get fearful about what others think. And I have to look at my sticky notes and remind myself, what would you do if you weren't afraid? I remind myself that I create my happiness and I also create my unhappiness. We need to ask ourselves, what do we really want? Who do we want to be with? What do we want our days to look like? This needs to be our focus, not what other people think, not what other people should do. I want you to ponder those questions. What do you really want? Who do you want to be? How do you want to spend your days? Write these things down and focus your energy there. But focusing our thoughts and energy on other people that we have zero control over is not helpful. If you find yourself getting a little defensive with this episode, that's okay. I've been there. I still get defensive. It took me a while to really understand that my thoughts were creating my reality. Old habits die hard, so I still revert back to my old ways of thinking. It happened just today. My husband helps to remind me that they are just my thoughts. This reminder helps me to detach from the fear of what other people are thinking, and it allows me to focus on who I want to be. I have a vision board. On my vision board, I have pictures of who I want to be, little cues, little reminders to remind myself. I look at it every single day, 2 or 3 times a day. Who do you want to be? Now, this was a pretty deep episode, but the bottom line is I believe we need to start focusing more on ourselves and less on other people. I'll let them live their life the way they want, and I'll live my life the way I want. I'm working on not blaming other people for the things that are not going right in my life. I'm also going to work on my thoughts about what other people should or should not be doing. That's none of my business. When I start worrying about what other people think, I'm going to remind myself that those are just my thoughts and they're irrelevant. Those people don't need to live their life the way I think they need to live it. I'm going to focus my energy on me, where I want to go, what I want to do, and who I want to be. When I'm unhappy, I'm going to take ownership over that. When I'm unhappy, I'm going to do a thought check to see what stories I'm creating in my mind. I invite you to join me in not caring so much about what other people think. It's actually quite liberating. That's it for today. I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Make sure you hit subscribe so that you won't miss the next episode. And if you like this episode, please share it with a friend and give me a 5-star review so that I can reach more people. I'll see you next week.
Disclaimer: the views and opinions shared here are for information and educational purposes only. They do not serve as a medical or professional advice. They do not represent any academic, medical, or professional institution or organization. If you found this helpful, don't forget to leave a 5-star review.
Thank you.